Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. That statement couldn't be any clearer, any better. Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one and only John Borba. Johnny, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, Renee? Real quick, sorry to cut you off. Just wanted to start off the show, and now that we have this little platform, it's a small platform, but it would almost be, you'd almost feel kind of guilty not to bring this up, to share it with our friends who watch the show and everything like that. Just want to say thoughts and prayers are with Charlie Kirk, his family, his wife and children. Senseless act that happened yesterday shouldn't be tolerated in our country, and there's so much that we can dive into, but we'll just keep it nice and short. But I will say this: when you cut out a man's tongue, you're not proving him to be a liar. You're only telling the world you fear what he has to say. So Charlie Kirk was a powerful man, spoke a lot of truths. You didn't have to agree with all of it, but it's a senseless act. A man was assassinated in front of America.
World, in front of the world.
Yep.
You can't dodge it. It's kind of all over our face. You feel for that, for them, for that family. The guy left behind 2 kids and a wife, which is, man, bro, that's so sad. We're in America, guys. It's freedom of speech, freedom to express yourself. That's a beauty that I think we take for granted. And yeah, you would feel guilty if we didn't at least acknowledge what happened. JB, every time before we go to bed, we pray. Me and my wife, we pray with our kids, and the one thing we pray for is just those people that fight for us, bro. I truly mean that. Sometimes I feel like we are obnoxious Americans at times, and we take our freedoms for granted. And today is September 11th. I remember being a little second grader, not knowing what was happening in the world, and just seeing my PE coach, Mr. Jones, crying as they announced it over the intercoms of what happened at 9/11, and this happens yesterday, and it's just, man, it's depressing. It feels like it sets our country back. We're in such a world where it's just completely divided, and what we want to do is with this platform is we want to avoid um, sadness and bring a smile to people's faces in the morning, to have a sense of joy, because that's what America is. It's a place where we can be free and be allowed to express ourselves and just enjoy life. That's what we need to do. Is we need to just embrace each other, enjoy life, and realize that we are just next to another human being who may be understood. Or damn, JB, RIP, bro. That's RIP. JB, can we run that intro real quick? Just to give us a quick break. Just give me a quick second. Just run our intro one more time, brother. And guys, I love y'all.
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. JB. All right, let's flip the page. As hard as that may be, JV, let me talk about what I'm pumped about this weekend before we get to NFL matchups. I don't know if a lot of you guys realize this, but as the videos and the hype videos and the interviews are starting to come out, feel like we kind of forgot Canelo versus Crawford this weekend, JB. Terrence Crawford is going up several weight classes from 147. The guy used to fight 135. 147 was his last, or 154 was his last fight. And now he's going up to 168 to fight the defending, the undisputed super middleweight champion, WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, and the Ring Magazine champion, and Canelo Alvarez. JB, I don't know how much you know about this. I know we're not going to act like we're boxing experts, but we are boxing enthusiasts. We're fighting enthusiasts. We enjoy watching UFC or MMA. Some people may take offense of us just categorizing MMA as the UFC bubble, but that's kind of what it feels like in that world. And every now and then, boxing likes to sneak in. A lot of the times in boxing, you see some of the best avoiding the best, and then they're trying to set up fights. Kind of, you remember the Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather stuff. We had to wait about 5 to 7 years before they actually matched up and got into the ring. At that point, it kind of didn't even matter because Pacquiao was already coming out. He was already on that downslope of his prime, right? And Floyd was always just kind of steady moving, which is why they
Yeah.
always he's the greatest of all time because he never flinched. There was no ebbs and flows to it. The guy was just consistent. So you got to respect it. But now with Turkey Al Sheikh and the Saudi Arabian money, big question mark if we're going to question where money comes from. But the Saudi Arabian folks are just funneling money into boxing, and they're giving us the fights that we do want to see. And I know there's a lot of Mexican folks, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of my friends who are instantly going to react and go, but Canelo is avoiding David Benavidez, and I don't know. Jay's a big Canelo fan. I would like to hear what he has to say if he wants to jump on here in just a few, just to kind of tell us what his take is there. But I I don't think Canelo is avoiding David Benavidez. I just think Canelo is in a situation where he calls the shots now. So you just got to kind of respect it. And why wouldn't you go get the bag? And why wouldn't you put your legacy at risk for like Canelo's risk take on this fight? To me, you have to respect because if he loses, bro, the noise is going to be so loud. I don't know that it taints his career as being a Hall of Famer in boxing, but it definitely stains it because he's going to lose to a 155er who's going up all the way to 168. JB, that's 54, 64. That's what, 14 pounds, JB. Weight
Yeah.
matters. Weight matters. I don't know if anybody bigger than you has just kind of grabbed you and you've tried to get away from it. I know this isn't MMA, this is boxing, but the punches are still going to be similar in weight. Bro, there's a difference between a 168er and a 155er who's going up, just gaining muscle mass. What do they say about muscle? JB, you're in the working out world. When you gain muscle, or help me out here, help me out.
When you gain
From what I
muscle,
know
you
is
gain
you're
muscle.
more likely to gas, right? Are you
Yeah.
more likely to
Yeah.
gas?
You're gonna gain some weight when you gain some muscle. Yeah, for sure. You have more muscle mass. Muscle is heavier than
No,
fat.
gas. Are you
You
more
could.
likely to gas out if you're just completely shredded,
Oh, for sure.
opposed
Yeah.
to a guy who's just more in his natural physique,
Yeah.
right? Because what did you just say? Muscle carries what?
Muscle is heavier than fat. So you are carrying more muscle mass around. So you will be a little bit more fatigued in a certain
Yeah,
sense.
so let me show you the tell of the tape here, JB. So we got Canelo, which is crazy is that they are different in weight here, but Crawford is a little bit taller, 5'8", half an inch to Canelo's 5'7". Terrence Crawford's reach is longer, 74 to his counterpartner at 70.5. That's going to be interesting. Bro, when you look at this little tell of the tape that we put together, obviously Canelo's got much more experience, but Terrence Crawford's been fighting. I mean, I know we always have this like, who did he fight? Who has he fought? Who has he fought? I feel like if you look at most people's boxing record, like if you're not in the weeds of boxing, I think 99% of us casuals would be like, who has he fought? Who has he fought? So I don't want to use that to kind of defend Canelo here because I guess you could kind of use the same thing against Canelo. But this is a cool fight. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'll be watching it.
Or do you care? I guess is what I'm.
Yeah, no, it's something exciting to see for the weekend for sure. A lot of hype around the fight. Canelo wants to build his legacy. This is a good way to test him. So even though
Nice.
Crawford has to come up a little bit in weight, hey, you got to do what you got to do if you take down the best. You got to beat. You got to if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So this is a good test for Crawford,
Yeah.
and it's another good test for Canelo and to build on his legacy. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
You got to risk it for the biscuit if you want to chase
You
greatness.
got the
Sometimes
bag.
you
You
got
got
to
the
take a
bag.
little
You're
risk.
fighting for too. So
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say there's no way Canelo's losing on Mexican Independence Weekend, as that comment said from Jay. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Terrence Crawford is taking too much of a risk. I I love the fact that he's willing to take that risk. It's only going to open up more doors for him. So I'm pumped to see the next fight that he's going to have. But JB, enough boxing, enough BS. Let's get to what we love the most. Let's get to some football. We got the Washington Commanders heading over to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. And as we get into that conversation for tonight's game, Thursday Night Football, we're going to go ahead and bring on Green Bay Packer enthusiast, the one, the only, Earl Robinson. Hey, Rob, what's up?
What's
New
up, boys?
haircut.
Good morning.
going on
Football day. Excited
football
for
Yeah,
some Thursday night football.
week 2 matchup, baby.
Yep.
fresh cut.
Fresh cut.
Let's go.
Dang.
What jersey are we rocking tonight?
Man, my Parsons one doesn't get here till October. It's back ordered.
Yeah.
So I gotta probably rock Jordan Love since Jair is gone playing in Baltimore.
Did you really get a Micah jersey already?
I mean, duh.
You guys are gonna have
Alright,
matching
just
jerseys, dude. That's cute.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to
That's
a
cute.
wedding in Dallas this weekend, and all my friends, of course, are Cowboys fans. I was really hoping that the Parsons jersey would be here before the wedding so I could wear it
Yeah.
out, the night before and maybe the night after or the night of the wedding. But it's not here till October, so I'll have to save that one.
Yeah, the boys dodged one, huh? Yeah, all right, let's talk let's go Washington Green Bay. What are your expectations from the Packers coming off of a solid victory against the Detroit Lions in week 1?
Yeah, I mean, my expectations are it's a home game, it's a big game, but we should come out and expect to win. I think anytime you're playing a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, it'll be a tough challenge. A quarterback that good can pretty much single-handedly beat you. But I think our defense with our pass rush should hopefully be able to get some pressure, force some inaccurate throws. And then Jordan Love just has to not turn the ball over on the other side. We've got to run the ball a little bit better than we did last week. A couple key injuries. We've got 2 offensive linemen that started last week that are questionable. I think if neither of them go, that could be big and tough to pass protect. One's a tackle, one's a guard. So hopefully we can get at least one of those guys ready to go on a short week. But that's kind of the headline that I'm watching.
Aaron Banks, right? Your guard, and then Zach Tom, your offensive tackle, both questionable. One for an oblique and one for an ankle. From what I'm seeing here, estimated return is today. So it sounds like they're going to be game time decisions, huh?
Yep. And Tom is definitely our best offensive lineman at right tackle, so that'd be a big miss. Need him to block a 100-year-old Von Miller,
especially going for what they call a defensive guru out there in Washington. I'm looking at your injury report right now. Rob, your 2 cornerbacks who are also questionable or are going to be out. I'm assuming they didn't play in week 1, but Bo Melton and Nate Hobbs, is that anything, or is that just 2 names that I just seen on the injury report that I'm asking about?
I mean, Nate Hobbs is the free agent we got from the Raiders, who is supposed to be our number 1 or number 2 corner this year. He got injured in the preseason and did not play last week. So I'm a little bit less concerned with that one than I am the offensive line. I think he'll be a boost when we get him healthy. But we didn't have him last week, so hope he plays. But I don't know. It's not necessarily a loss yet, right?
Yeah, for sure. JB with Washington on the other side over there. What are your expectations for them? And after seeing what that defense did to what we thought was a amazing offense, made them look very, very normal or less than normal. Jaden Daniels, what are our expectations for him and that offense?
Well, I think it all starts up front. You got to protect them. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is one of those quarterbacks that will be relying on his athleticism when it comes to Micah and Rashawn Gary trying to get to the quarterback. And what's going to have to step up too is Washington's run game. You got a couple guys in there that they're kind of they don't have a designated running back, but they do have guys that they rotate with now that you're seeing a little bit of Eckler. You're seeing Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt with it, uh, taking a couple possessions as well. And then who's the other guy, the third running back? Uh, uh, dang it. I can't remember his name. All I know is Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt because I drafted him in like 3 fantasy leagues. So,
Yeah, that
but
Brian Robinson trade, and you jumped on that one.
oh yeah, real quick. Yeah, even before that, they were already rumoring him to be gone. You know that Brian Robinson probably
Yeah.
wasn't going to be on the Week 1 roster, so that was one of those sleepers. But yeah, they got to get the running game established. That's probably the best way you can slow down a pass rush, kind of keep a pass rush from just pinning its ears back and trying to get to the quarterback. You got to win first and second down the majority of the night if you're Washington, and that's going to help not put you in third and longs, predictable. Passing situations where the pass rush can get after you. But I expect it to be kind of a chess match. Now, one of the things that sticks out too is sometimes that passing game in Washington isn't so great. Of course, you do got Terry McLaurin and Debo, but you want to see a little bit more consistency in certain areas of the passing game when it comes to Jaden Daniels and his development and getting better overall as a passer. So you just want to see some of those things clicking on offense. Defensively, I think it's going to be kind of a struggle for Washington to stop Jordan Love and Packers. We'll see what Lattimore does on the back end, what a couple of those guys do on the back end in Washington. But you got to create havoc for Jordan Love. You got to get him uncomfortable. You got to get him to throw off platform a little bit, and that's when you can get a couple balls
Yeah.
that sail on you. Not the best decision making. So that's one of the things that is still a question. Watching Jordan Love, and I'm sure Earl's seen that too in the past, where you question some of his decision making, some of his accuracy on certain throws. But that's one of those things in the growth of Jordan Love that you want to see to help get that team to the next level.
Hey, you've been a Jordan Love hater from what it seems like last year. You have zero faith in the guy. Um,
Yeah, he's got his
he-
moments,
he's,
but yeah,
he's
I've always knocked Jordan Love a little bit. Maybe because the Packers just always feel privileged having these
oh,
quarterbacks that just come in and they're Hall of Fame caliber. I just
Packers are why.
I haven't seen that with Jordan Love consistently. So that just kind of brings into another topic of like paying these
Hey,
guys
does
and kind of strapped
does
for
does the
money.
fact d- does the fact that we haven't really seen Jordan Love use his legs does that scare you a little?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the type of quarterback that he really is. A guy, I can understand extending the play.
But
Um,
it's in the
it's
back.
there. I mean, he does have the ability to scramble, get some extra yards when a play breaks down. But I think he's one of those guys that's more of yeah, that's very
He
true.
likes to sit in the pocket,
I was
scheme
reading the
athlete.
comments, but yeah, that he's one of those guys that can extend a play, and that's where you can become dangerous in the sense of like a Patrick Mahomes, extending the play, getting out of the pocket when the play breaks down.
Yeah,
His
that is.
receivers are going to get open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of the things. That's the knock on Jordan Love. I think he's a little overhyped. And the team has a lot of hype behind him. The team has a lot of hype. Are they going to live up to the hype? It's a lot of hype right now. It's a lot of hype. Let's it's
Yeah.
week 1. Let's see that. This
That
is a
that
good test. Good test.
that Vikings blood is starting to come out just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A couple fun facts: Matt LaFleur is 3-1 head-to-head record against Dan Quinn. The Packers have the youngest roster in the league. That was interesting to read this morning, and they're going against the oldest roster in the league in the Washington Commanders. I thought that was also an interesting read. Um, E-Rob, are we? Let me ask you this before you give me your prediction on tonight's game. If hypothetically, if you had Matthew Stafford and Jaden Daniels on your team, do you start Jaden Daniels tonight over Matthew Stafford?
We're talking fantasy, obviously, not like the
Yeah. I'm
Commanders.
sorry. Now we're talking fantasy right here.
Yeah, I think Jaden is the level of quarterback, especially with his ability, his athleticism, as Borba mentioned, his running and potential to score fantasy points with his legs. I think he's the type of quarterback that you don't bench regardless of the matchup. I think he can, like, his floor is probably close to Stafford's ceiling. I don't know the last time. Stafford's a great quarterback, right? But they've got Kyron Williams. They like to run the football. I don't know the last time that Stafford has thrown for 4 touchdowns and got 1 yard rushing. So I'll
Yeah.
take
Yep. Yep.
I'll take Jaden just because of the athleticism there, and I think
Yep.
I think he should throw for 1 or 2 touchdowns and use his
Does
legs.
does the Rams heading over to Nashville to play the Titans? Does that add any value to kind of leaning towards Matthew Stafford?
No, because I think the Titans have a pretty decent defense.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like from week one, and at least that's the chatter that I've been hearing. I guess my only concern for that one was Jaden Daniels going against potentially the best defense in the league, or at least top 3 just coming out of week one. But regardless of matchup, you're telling me we should start Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I think there's certain fantasy players that, regardless of matchup, like you don't have anybody better than them, and when you draft them, you start them
Yep.
every week. Like Jamar Chase is one, right? Every time that the Bengals play the Browns, sometimes he has a horrible game, like he did week 1. I'm not going to second guess starting him or starting him for the rest of the season, including when they play the Browns again.
Yep.
Nice. You agree there, Hero? I mean, you agree there, Borba?
No, 100%. The guys that you're drafting, the first quarterbacks that are coming off the board in every fantasy league are obviously Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and in that category, you can throw Jaden Daniels in there now because their legs are so important. To if you get a rushing touchdown, that's an extra 6 points for your fantasy. So you can never go wrong. Although Stafford might light it up, get you 240 yards, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's still only going to get you maybe between 15 and 19 points or something like that. And then if you get a rushing touchdown out of one of these younger, more athletic guys, you're getting over 20 points. The value is always going to be there in fantasy. The stock is higher for a quarterback that can use his legs and get those extra couple points for you through the ground.
Well, that hypothetical is my fantasy team going into this weekend. So now I have somebody to blame if it doesn't play out.
Well, I hope Jane Daniels goes for 2 points tonight, and you can blame me next time I get on the show. But
Yeah.
I'm also starting Jaden in one of my leagues, so it'll be a love-hate relationship tonight. Hopefully, a lot of garbage time for him.
E-Rob, this cool fantasy league that you joined going into the season, what is it called again?
A gauntlet league.
The Gauntlet League. Will you care to elaborate just a little bit on what that league is?
Yeah, so it's a different way to do fantasy. There's 18 teams that started in the league, and there's no head-to-head matchups. So every single week, it's just whoever's the lowest scoring team gets cut, and their season is over. And it's last one standing wins. So when somebody gets cut, their entire roster goes to waivers, and the rest of the league can bid on their roster based on, like, we'll call it, free agency dollars. Every team has $200 for the entire season. So if you want to, you can go all in on 1 or 2 players, or you can kind of play the long game, because eventually there's going to be, say, 2 teams left, right? And you're going to be trying to get the most loaded team for the championship. But with that said, you can't assume you're going to be one of those last 2 teams by just saving all of your money. So a lot of strategy with how you use your
Chess
funds to stay alive, but also make sure you're competitive on the back end. So week
Yeah,
one, I survived. No big deal. Aaron
and
Rodgers
I think
waited up for me.
you had the highest, right?
No, I think I ended up with the fifth highest.
Fifth. Okay, gotcha. And quarterbacks. So me and E-Rob are teaming up with this. It was a fun little draft. 18 teams, Borba, 18 teams, and we were sitting at what number 14? I think 14th pick or 12th pick. I think it
Yeah,
was
right around
14th pick.
14. We were towards the back.
Yeah, so immediately, JB, we're like in the weeds of who we're gonna get. So clock's coming up. There was no time limit, so you're just kind of waiting throughout the day on when the next person's available to make that pick. But look, it sounded like you guys were talking a little bit of trash for the buddy that was taking a little long, especially on an obvious pick, right? So it comes down to us, JB, and we get to CeeDee Lamb or Baker Mayfield.
Well, hold on. But
Go.
hold on. We got to preface this with it's a super flex league. And so you can start two quarterbacks, right? You have to start
okay.
one. And then in the super flex, you can start another. So with 18 teams, right, not everybody's going to get a second quarterback. So
Or
go
maybe
ahead.
not even a good first quarterback.
Yeah, or a good
So,
first
yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah.
So that kind of just tells you where the draft is when our last two options. I don't know how CeeDee Lamb fell that low, but we came down to like, all right, Baker might be our only. Because after that, it was like Cam Ward, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah,
There were a
the
handful
pool
of
of
good
quarterbacks
ones.
was
Kyler was
little.
still out there, but we were hoping because it's a snake draft that on the way back we could double dip and get another quarterback. But Baker was, based on last year's performance, by far the best one available. And thinking was,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, thinking was, right, there's no head to head. Like I would take CD in a regular league, but in this type of league, quarterback is the most consistent position out there. Like you're going to get 15 points minimum from even a Ward usually, right? So having two quarterbacks in your lineup versus like a CD Lamb and a low tier flex, you're probably going to get more points from two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The breakdown was insane. Adria got to watch me and E-Rob brainstorm through that whole thing, and she was mind blown at us going back and forth for about 25 to 30 minutes just to end up picking Baker, which we had said at the very beginning. But it's just like, all right, this is who you pick, and then we just have to chop everything down, drop them down to the bottom, and then kind of raise them back up to finally get a pick. So we're gonna follow that league. We're gonna follow that, JB. We're gonna follow that league for the next couple of weeks, or for as long as we last. And we made it to week 2. And E-Rob, how are we feeling going into week 2 on that fantasy team?
So I feel good. The team that went out had some star players that did not go off last week. So they had Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins, Sam Darnold. I wouldn't call a star, but quarterback, right, if you can start two, is valuable. And then Devontae Smith. We really needed a receiver. And so I assumed everybody would go all in on Gibbs and Jacobs, which was true. We spent $76 and we got T. Higgins. So a good chunk of our money, but I think T is a startable receiver for pretty much the rest of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Oh, bro, that sucks. I bet you that guy wasn't even worried. He's like easily not going to be last with that roster. That's crazy. Just Josh Jacobs and Jahmyr Gibbs alone should have gotten him out of week 1, and he was probably feeling pretty confident after that draft. And just to log in and see that you've been removed, ouch.
That's
Can we put his fantasy team name on blast, or do we care to put your buddy's name on blast here? Who's the loser?
I don't even know everybody in the league. Honestly, it's a hot people with 18, and I don't know off the top of my head. So once somebody goes out that is a buddy, I'll
clip it, and send it to him. A loser, loser. What a sucker! Hey, all right, E-Rob, you got a couple more minutes? You want to hang out for a second?
Yeah, let's knock out the betting segment, and then I probably got to drop here pretty quick.
Okay, go ahead. What do we got? What do we got for the bets? All right, so E-Rob set the tone in week one. What we believe, Buddy went 3-4 in betting, 75% in betting. That's great because that means
That
we
is
won
great.
a little bit of money. A little bit of money. So with that being said, E-Rob, go ahead. Give us the locks for this weekend. What's going on in the betting world? Let us be degenerates today.
Yeah. So just to hit on that recap, right, of last week, 3-4, I will just call out the failure was betting on the Dolphins. We will not make that mistake again. They made Daniel Jones look like Patrick Mahomes 4 years ago. So we are not going to bet on the Dolphins unless we're betting against the Dolphins for the rest of the season. That defense looked bad. The rest of them, right, hit on the teaser Thursday night with Dallas and Philly, hit on Commanders to cover -6 against the Giants, and then hit on Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown. So this week, since Renee doesn't have the board, I'll have to pull open these bets again. So I'm going to do another teaser. We're going to include Dallas. Okay, Dallas and the over. So this is a 7-point teaser that gets Dallas to +2 and over 37.5. They're playing at home against the Giants. So I think Dallas wins that game. And I think over 37.5, I think Dallas should score some points against that Giants defense.
Yes, sir. They should. They should. So that's our teaser. What is that sitting at, E-Rob? What's the payout?
It's -140. So
It's
14 to win
140. So
10.
$14 to win $10.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that's where our friends' betting ranges are, is increments of maybe 10, $5 and $10, or at least that's what mine are. But bet whatever you can afford to lose. Don't forget that. This is not guaranteed. This is just fun advice.
Do not rely on my picks.
I know we're 3-4, baby. We're 3-4 going into week 2. Let's go. What's
All
next?
right.
What's next?
Next
bro?
one, I'm gonna take Steelers -3 at home against Seattle. I don't like what I saw from Seattle last week against San Francisco. They just did not look good overall. And Pittsburgh looked better to me than I expected. As far as offensively, right? Like we know that they have a good defense. I say that the Jets put up 30 some points, but I think their defense will get back to Pittsburgh Steelers football. And if Rodgers can throw for 2, 3, 4 touchdowns a week, I think that team is going to be tough to beat at home against a Seattle team that I don't love.
Right.
And then lastly, we'll throw in a Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown. I think he played really good against that Pittsburgh defense last week, minus the last play of the game where he dropped the football, getting hit by Ramsey. Tough hit. So good defensive play there. But Garrett Wilson, anytime TD, I think watching that Buffalo defense against the Ravens last week, and then watching how many points the Jets were able to score against the Steelers defense, who I think is top 5, top 10 defense. I don't think Buffalo is as good as Pittsburgh's defense, and so I like Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown. I think Justin Fields and him carrying that Ohio State connection onto the football field.
Hey, baby, I like that. I like that. So, is that it? Is that all we got?
That's it.
Yeah, we went 3-4 last week. We're looking to go 100% this week. Ride with us.
I did do one more teaser if you want one more teaser, but
well, let's have a little fun.
All right, one more 7-point teaser. Okay, this game's tough. It's gonna be a good matchup. Chiefs and Eagles. So Kansas City is +1 points at home, and that over/under is currently at 47. So I like taking the Chiefs and the over. So that means that the bet would be Kansas City +8 and over 40 points. That's also -140. So bet 14 to win 10. I think, Philly's going to be tough to beat. They're going to have Jalen Carter, I guess pending what happens pregame. But it's going to be a tough game for the Chiefs, but they're at home. They're coming off a division loss that was probably a little bit of a wake-up call. They also, they probably have a chip on their shoulder from losing that Super Bowl, so I expect them to play well. They don't have to win for this bet to hit, right, which is at +8, so I like that. And then ultimately, I think both offenses will score some points, so 40 isn't too high there for me.
I like that one.
All right, hell yeah. Having a little fun. I think I'm gonna tell you on both of those. That sounds juicy. Well, E-Rob, I appreciate you joining the show. 3 and 4, 75% hit rate, and looking to be at 100% this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Robinson.
All right, go Pack, go.
Thank you, E-Rob.
See you guys next week.
Go.
Yep.
Go Pack, go.
So.
Oh no, what is this? Alert!
Oh wow.
Brock Purdy.
No, this isn't an old shot from 3 years ago. This is new.
This looks so sad. So
2 to
Brock
5
Purdy's
weeks.
looking to miss 2 to 5 weeks, according to Adam Schefter from ESPN, with a turf toe. That seems like such a broad amount of time, from 3 to 5 weeks or 2 to 5 weeks. Turf toe. I remember this happened to Tony Romo a couple of times.
Yeah.
But that guy was a dog. Bro came back in like 2 weeks. I think that's a pain tolerance thing, right?
It's got to heal a little bit. Right now, depending on like certain, if you're throwing on the run or something like that, pushing off your toe, ooh, it's like when you push it off in that certain, the way you're moving a little bit, ooh, it hurts, man. That hurts. I've experienced that too. So it's probably let it heal a couple weeks. I would expect him to be back in 2 weeks, let it heal. But what's crazy is this team just cannot stay healthy. Right now, the most healthiest offensive player looks like it's Christian McCaffrey, who popped up on the injury report before week 1. So it's crazy. San Francisco just cannot stay healthy. Kind of wild.
I know what. How disappointing. So with that being said,
Mac Jones
Purdy being out, and now you got Mac Jones. What a situation for those in San Francisco. Bro, I love this just because it can stir the pot. Mac Jones can stir the pot. I know San Francisco paid Brock Purdy this offseason, but how juicy will it get, Borba, if Mac Jones goes out there and has himself a day, maybe has himself a couple weeks. Let's not forget, Mac Jones is a national champion in 2020. Mac Jones, national champion with Alabama, right? 2021 comes into the league as a rookie, and what does he do? He just messes around and gets called up to the Pro Bowl. Why not? Now, I get it. NFL Pro Bowls may be a little bit of a fugazi, just slightly, just a little bit, especially nowadays. It seems like anybody can get in as long as the main players deny the request to go. So I get you can take that with a grain of salt, right? But in 2020 or 2022 and 2023, he's gets shipped over, traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doesn't really play because he's backing up Trevor Lawrence. Similar situation though. Trevor Lawrence gets hurt, so Mac Jones gets called up to bat. Unlike baseball though, you can't miss as many times. And Buddy went 2-5 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but now he's coming over to a system quarterback friendly head coach in Kyle Shanahan. JB, how confident are you with Mac Jones this weekend, especially considering that they're playing the New Orleans Saints, but it is in New Orleans?
Yeah. For a couple of games, I will say this. For a couple of games, Mac Jones will come in and be serviceable. You're looking at the schedule. I think that was part of the consideration of having Brock Purdy sit out. You look at the schedule. You have the Saints this week. That's a manageable game. If you execute correctly, you should beat the Saints. You do not want to be upset by the Saints, especially if this team is trying to make a playoff push. This could be something that haunts you towards the back end of the season when these games matter and when your win-loss record really matters. So you have to come in. Mac Jones has got to be serviceable this game for sure. They cannot lose this game. Expect everything to be very well structured. You're not going to put too much on Mac Jones. You got to put a lot of pressure on that defense to create some havoc for Spencer Rattler in that offense. So you got to come in with a game plan to run the ball. Use Brian Robinson, use Christian McCaffrey, and now you don't have your security blanket in George Kittle either. So Juwan Jennings popped up on the injury report with a shoulder injury. So there's some questions with that offense, and you gotta. It's almost like you're gonna have to come in a little bit conservative. Of course, Mac Jones likes to be a little bit risky, can be a little errant with the football, can make some bad decisions. So you got to come in with a good game plan that's not going to put too much pressure on him. Let him get in a rhythm, and then kind of open it up to what he's comfortable in. Work with his strengths, and just don't have any turnovers. That's the biggest thing. Turnovers will lose you a game like this against the Saints. So come in clean, control the clock. Control the field position. Those are the little things that you really, really, really have to focus on this week with a guy like Mac Jones. Hopefully he can come in and get you, one win. Hopefully Brock Purdy's just gone a couple weeks, nothing like a month. If he's gone a month, I'm kind of nervous for the 49ers.
Let's look at the schedule. With you saying you're nervous, this San Francisco team is going to have to be carried by Matt Sala and that defense. They had a pretty decent outing in week 1. So you got to expect, history tells us that Matt Sala can have a top 5 defense there in San Francisco, right? But all right, they snuck out of Seattle with the W, and then now they have New Orleans this weekend. All right, let's see how it looks after that. So Mac Jones may potentially start at home against the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, especially with all those injuries.
Really
Brandon
tough
Ayuk's
game.
not expected to be back until about week 5.
I will after seeing what the Cardinals did, although it was to the Saints, of course. But man, you talk about, and this is something that we have not talked about, that I've been one of the players that are standing out is Will Johnson, the rookie corner out of Michigan. He dropped in the draft, like the second round. He was a top 10 pick. I don't know why he dropped, but this is my hot take. You got a potential lockdown corner that's going to be up there with Pat Surtain and Will Johnson. Look at those two as the top 2 lockdown corners in the league for the next 5+ years upcoming, because Will Johnson is a freaking stud. I can't believe this guy dropped to the second round, man. Dude is locked down. Dude, remember that name, Will Johnson. And that secondary is no slouch. That secondary in Arizona is going to be no joke. You got Budda Baker, a couple other good guys out there, but yeah, that secondary is playing hard. And there's a highlight where Spencer Rattler's throwing a screen to Chris Olave, and I don't know if you follow kind of Chris Olave's career, but he's had so many concussions, been knocked out so many times. I mean, they're setting this man up for fail. I don't know if you've seen that clip with Devontae Adams on wide receiver when he was playing for the Raiders. He's like, I got to get out of here. My life is on the line playing for this team because I'm getting hit so many times. I've never been hit this many times in my life. I got to get the F out of here is what he's saying. That's Chris Olave. He's got to get out of there, bro. Because he got lit up on a screenplay by Will Johnson, man. I mean, crazy, bro. This guy's taking hit after hit. But that Arizona Cardinal secondary is something that pops out to you when you look at certain teams. So, Cardinals are a legit team. Kind of off the 49ers subject.
So let's, with that being said, I'm going to assume you're going to hit us with an L there, right? San Francisco is probably taking the L on that one.
No, not this week. I'm gonna take the dub this week against the Saints.
Yeah. But I'm talking about against the Cardinals.
Oh, that next game. Yes, that next game. Yeah. I like what the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are going to be healthy. They're going to be a lot more healthier than the 49ers. I would take that. And in those division matchups, those are always close, especially in the NFC West.
Let me hit you with the next 3 games here. Shout out Mikey Nunez for showing some love. Appreciate you, bro. We got at home again. They're going to go to the Jaguars are coming over. We don't necessarily. I got to give the Jaguars one more week. That first week, I kind of liked what we saw. Trevor Lawrence seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable. New head coach, new OC. I expect him to continue to get better. That's another tough one, though, right?
It's going to be another.
Then they got the Jags, and then the Rams, and then the Bucks.
Oh man, you gotta. Okay, so you
Yeah,
you might
they
be able
gotta
to get.
win. They gotta win.
If you go in by the time Brock Purdy's back on the field, if you're 3-2 by then, I think you're pretty happy. I think you should start off
Yeah,
the season 2-0. I think you take a loss to Arizona. Jags, that's up in the air. That's up in the air for me. You're not going to have a couple of your offensive stars, so that one's up for me in the air. I'm going to just say that one's a loss. Let's chalk that one up as a loss. I think you're 2-2, and then after the Jags, you got who do you get? Who do you got again after the Jags?
Jags. You got the Rams.
Rams, bro.
Yeah,
That's an L.
in
Got to get
yeah,
Brock Purdy back.
damn. That's on Prime. That's Thursday Night Football, and then they'll have the Buccaneers. That might be it. I think
Ooh,
going in. I think best case scenario for San Francisco is going 4-4 midway through the season, and then man, it's gonna be health. If if they can't stay healthy, like you said, I mean, we're looking for San Francisco to kind of just be what they've been in the past. Not I don't want to say the past few years, but the years where the injuries just continue to stack up on them. The
yeah.
luck over there is insane. I do feel bad for San Francisco fans. My brother is one. So I hope that Brock Purdy gets healthy, gets back, and they can make some noise. But with that being said, JB, who do you got in that game? Packers or Niners Saints?
I'm going Niners. Niners should pull this one off.
Niners. I agree. I agree. Niners should. I like Mac Jones. I want it to get a little spicy. I want it to get a little juicy. Um, you got a lot of time. Facebook. Sorry, I was reading that. JB, before we get into our quick picks, I just want to ask you. I want to give you a chance to talk about your boy, players of the week.
Player of the week.
Your boy won NFC Player of the Week.
Yeah, I think
Um,
well deserved. You have all the odds stacked up against you through 3 quarters of football, and then in the fourth quarter, you get 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 143 yards passing. A good chunk of that in the fourth quarter as well. And then on the AFC side, you had Josh Allen, which is well deserved. Of course, they wanted to give that to him,
yeah. That's
but
both of our guys are on here. Both of our guys that we said were the performers of the weekend are on here. So shout out. We're kind of not dumb, not completely dumb. Our eyes aren't deceiving us. Um, yeah, this is a solid list. I like how they point out a defensive player and then they even
yeah,
throw out a
special
special teams
teamers.
player.
Special teamers Chris
Yeah.
Boswell on the
Oh,
Steelers. Clutch
it's a
field
tough
goal.
weekend. It was a tough weekend for kickers though too, right?
It
There's a lot
was.
of boys that missed a lot of hits there.
Yeah. There was a couple guys that, the Browns, they're feeling kind of crappy about their kicking situation, kind of botched the game for them. They had a chance to win that game. Um, and
Yeah.
then some guys that did deliver. Will Reichard on the Vikings, 59-yarder right before halftime, which ended up to be
Come
huge for
on,
that game.
baby. Come
So,
on.
undefeated. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yep.
So,
All right, let's transition over to the last couple of teams that are undefeated here, JB.
yeah.
Just looking at this graphic, this is the last undefeated teams after week one. Who do you think is going to come off this list?
Well, based on matchups, we got to get into the matchups for me too. Um, kind of tell you who's going to get off that 1-0
Yeah.
list.
Let's come back to this. Let's
Yeah.
come back to it, and let's run through these quick picks.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay. Yep.
Oh,
Let's
look,
do that.
actually, in the news, let's talk about in the news real quick. In the news, Bill Belichick. According to Yahoo Sports, Bill Belichick was trying to trademark a couple things. His application was denied by the U.S. Patent Office, with the rights reportedly held by the New England Patriots per ESPN. So that story gets even juicier because there's already beef with the Patriots and Bill Belichick. If you guys didn't know, Bill Belichick's not allowing New England scouts to go over to UNC. I think that's shit just because and the more eyes on your program, the better. So why would
Mhm.
you not want a NFL team to go out there and scout? But the ones that were rejected was do your job, ignore the noise. This was my favorite, the Bellustrator.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. The Bellustrator.
Yeah. Illustrator. And then no days off. No days off. I
No
think
days
that's
off.
what all our bosses would love to tell us, right? No
Yeah.
days off. But
Yeah.
Bill
Seriously.
Belichick, it seems like it's just not looking good for Buddy out there. It's not looking good. Let's run through these quick picks, JB. Let's make our picks for the weekend. Um, all right, let's see what we got. Where did I
Yep.
put my sorry, JB, slightly unorganized. Thursday night football. Let's start with that one. Who do you
Yep.
got? Packers. You got the Washington Commanders heading over to Lambeau Field tonight on Prime TV. Who do you got winning tonight's game?
You know, man, that one's a tough one. I really just don't want to pick the Packers. I don't want to pick the Packers. I'm doing everything I
Solely off the
can
hate.
not to. So let me go this route. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders in an upset. I think that Week 1 game was
Yeah,
it was a
good.
lot of hype. Defense played crazy because of Micah Parsons now on that team. I think Jaden Daniels kind of puts everybody back in their seats, makes some plays on the ground. Debo gets involved in the run game, and Terry McLaurin finds a few big plays and keep that running game going. Keep that running game going to kind of settle down that pass rush of Green Bay. Give me the
Yeah,
upset. Give me Washington the upset 3-point
starting
victory.
hot. This is where we get in trouble, fellas. Is we start betting with our heart. That's where I've lost the majority of my money. Is because I get personally involved with the team.
Yep.
I I fall for the
Can't help it.
stories.
Can't help it.
Yeah. I fall for the stories. My heart gets invested, and that's exactly how you lose money. And with that being said, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, and maybe I'm in the same situation here. Maybe I'm riding the hype from Week 1. I don't want to
100%.
see Micah do great, but I do want to see him do good. Uh, I do have a bet against a Packers fan, the Packer enthusiast for our show. Uh, I hate to ride with them, but I got Packers winning today, and I got Packers surprisingly covering. Matt LaFleur being 3-1 against Dan Quinn. I think it turns into 4-1. An 11 o'clock game. My team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Giants go head to head in AT&T Stadium at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. What a beautiful stadium! I was just there. I was across the street watching the Chris Brown concert. What an entertainer that man was. I drove by that stadium though, JB, on my way out, and I just looked at it and I just thought to myself, play it one playoff win. That's all I'm asking from you. One playoff game. Give me a reason to come back out here in January just for you to turn my heart out. And I'm okay with it because I just need a reason. JB, let me pick this game right away, real quick, because we already know where I'm leaning. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. But I expect a big game from George Pickens. We saw all the targets that CeeDee Lamb had. I think it was about 10, dropped 2. Not good. Those 2 were crucial. Probably lost the game because of them, but we're not going to blame them. I think Dak and George Pickens have a hell of a day. George Pickens on yesterday, I saw an interview where he said they asked him, "Are you concerned about not getting more targets?" And he said, "I'm not worried about targets. I'm just worried about staying open for my team." This guy's locked in, bought in, and I think because of his passion for the Dallas
He's right now.
Cowboys. I think he's going to be targeted about 6 to 8 times, and I feel a big game out of him. Outside of that pass interference that I had, which is probably going to be a 60-yard gain, the stats would have looked a little bit different on his sheet. I think we see his come out game, especially against the Giants team that I believe is in the back end, somewhere between 25 and 30, and giving up fantasy points to wide receivers. So give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take the Cowboys. Right now it's kind of panic mode. I wouldn't say panic mode is the right word in New York, but you got some decisions to make when it comes to that quarterback position. And I don't think
Yeah.
Russ is going to elevate those wide receivers. I don't think he's going to elevate that offense no more. So give me Dallas this game pretty handedly.
Yeah, baby. I'm gonna clip that last part, and I'm just gonna every time we have a prediction for the Cowboys, that's gonna be you talking. All right, you
Thanks.
got the Jaguars heading over to Cincinnati. Both teams 1-0. Uh, this one feels like a coin toss. The line is set at -3 for the Cincinnati Bengals to win. I do expect them to have a bounce back. They did play, in my eyes, one of the better defensive teams in Cleveland. Miles Garrett is a game wrecker, and the Jaguars don't seem to have one of those guys, at least from what we saw in Week 1. Coney came out and said that they are going to play Travis Hunter on the defensive side a little more. That kind of worries me as a fantasy owner of Travis Hunter. It seems like maybe we'll slide him over to the bench for this week. But give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
I think it's going to be a
Hard to go
grind.
against that offense.
I think it's going to be a grind. It's going to be one of those games that's going to be maybe 23-20. We get a winner. I think the Bengals are just going to be a little bit too much. We've still seen them struggle a little bit. They started off a little bit slow last week still, so that's still a question mark in the back of my mind. But if the Bengals can go 2-0, we haven't seen that in 6+ years. So if you go start off 2-0, that puts a little pressure on that division. And when they start getting that momentum going, because we know it's going to happen sooner or later, they're going to start clicking, offensively and as a team whole, especially offensively, I should say.
Yeah.
So give me this one in another grind out game, and I think the Bengals squeak by.
All right, JB. We are almost out of time, so let's just run through this quick because our folks got to get to work. Shout out to the people that are working today.
Gotcha.
Let's go quick. Bears and Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions here at home. They're gonna get the edge over Ben Johnson. Who you got?
I am going to go Bears. I think Ben Johnson this is a huge statement game for that coaching staff. When Detroit loses 8 coaches, it's showing up. It's showing up after week 1, and I think it's going to show up week 2. Give me the Bears going in.
Give me the Bears. Let's go Rams or Titans. I'm gonna lean on the Rams here with Matthew Stafford.
I think that one's going to be a little bit closer than people think. Cam Ward had a pretty good debut. His receivers need to help him out more. So, but I'm still going to take the edge with the Rams.
Okay, the Rams are sitting at -5.5 point favorites. Patriots and Dolphins. I don't like what's going on in Miami at all. I think we're about to see it blow up. Miami is the favorite at -1.5. Just because I want to see the outcome of a loss on that team, I'm going to go with the Patriots.
There's some fire under Mike McDaniels right now. I was watching a Miami sports podcast yesterday on my Sirius XM radio, and they were kind of talking about what's going on. Mike McDaniel is now on the hot seat, so we got to see something. Tua cannot turn the ball over. They got to play a clean game, and they got to get something. Tyreek Hill has not had a 30+ yard reception in over a year. So they cannot drive the ball down the field right now. That's a big issue.
Tyreek Hill, maybe not a bad start in fantasy this week.
I just because I think there's kind of a pressure on Miami, I'm going to take Miami in this game. They edge it out.
All right. And quick picks, just hit me with a quick answer. 49ers Saints. You already said 49ers. Yep. Bills Jets. I'm going to ride the Bills. I'm going to ride the hot hand.
I think it's going to be a good game, but give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills. Seahawks, Steelers. Give me that Aaron Rodgers, 42-year-old man. I'm going with the Steelers.
Yep, going with the Steelers. Sam Darnold's going to be questionable against a solid defense.
Yep, right along. Browns versus Ravens. Ravens bounce back in my eyes. It's hard to see them lose back-to-back games, especially being 11.5 point favorites, which is disrespectful to an NFL team in the Browns. Give me the Ravens.
Yep, give me the Ravens as well.
Give me the Ravens, baby. Broncos and Colts.
It's a tough one.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Colts. I think the Colts upset. This is my upset for the weekend. Denver being -1.5 point favorites. Give me the Colts. I'm riding with Kevin.
Man, I want to pick the Broncos, but I'm high on the Colts right now. So hopefully it wasn't a 1-week wonder out of Daniel Jones. Give me the Colts right now.
We're about to find out. Yeah. Coming in hot on Monday if they don't. Panthers, Cardinals. I'm gonna ride Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yep, Cardinals.
And baby, Eagles, Chiefs. This is the tough one. I like Earl's bets for this game. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on the bounce back, getting a lick back too from that Super Bowl last year.
Huge game. Teams that start off 0-2 in the Super Bowl era, out of 279 teams that have gone 0-2, only 3 have made it to the Super Bowl, I think. So this is a huge game for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have to win this game, but I'm still going to go Eagles. I don't think they have enough power offensively, the Chiefs right now, to offset kind of a weak secondary out of Philly. Well, if they did, I would be concerned for Philly, but they just don't have that guy right now. The Chiefs just don't have that offensive weapon at wide receiver to really put stress on Philly's secondary right now. So I think that's a big thing. I think the Philadelphia runs away with it.
Philly. And the Sunday night football game, the Falcons versus the Vikings. I'm hyped on JJ McCarthy. I'm riding with JB here. Give me the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
Who you got?
This is what I want to see. I want to see JJ McCarthy come in week 1, beats Caleb Williams, his quarterback that came out, was the first pick overall in JJ McCarthy's draft. What does he do? Week 2, sees Michael Penix, who was drafted 8th overall, 3 picks before him. Hey, he gets that win over Michael Penix. We're a statement game. I think the offense opens up more. The defense is going to be flying around. Expect them to get after Michael Penix. I'm going JJ McCarthy. Has an even better game, week 2 performance. Let's go. Let's keep building on that.
Hell yeah, going in hot into the week, boys. Let's have a day, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys joining Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Renee. Along with me is John Bohr, but thank you all for jumping on the show. Guys, remember to love each other. Be nice to each other. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. That statement means everything. Let's have a day.